Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here and an honor to be able to address you this morning with Secretary Whitty and welcome you to this conference. Hopefully it'll be the first of many to come. I bring you the greetings of Dean Rolando Flores, the Dean of the College of Agricultural, Consumer, and Environmental Sciences, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, but he wanted me to make sure that I let you know that he would like to be here. And I'd like to thank at the beginning the conference organizers, the presenters, the attendees for being here and making this a possibility. It really is important. I grew up on a small farm in northern Utah. One of my jobs on that farm was to drive a grain truck from the farm, from the fields on the farm to the elevator. And I've always been kind of amazed at the elevator facilities. And you've all seen them. There's a picture here of an older one. Just how big they are, the equipment that goes into them. Pretty amazing operations. On the screen that you're looking at right now is a picture of the Transcona grain elevator. The elevator is located in Winnipeg, Canada. It was built by the Canadian Pacific Railway Company. It was started in 1913. It took 2 years to build, so they finished it started in 1911, and they finished it in 1913. The elevator was designed to store grain produced in the surrounding farms of Winnipeg. If you look at the map, Winnipeg's kind of dead center in east to west of Canada, and it has railways and train rails that would allow it to ship grain east to west. In 1913, this elevator cost $3 million. Today, this elevator, if you put that in current dollars, would cost $95 million. Pretty impressive structure. It was state-of-the-art for its day. It included the workhouse, the tall part there, 70 feet by 90 feet, 96 feet, and 180 feet high, or 16 stories high. The bin house, the individual silos there, 77 feet by 195 feet by 10 stories high. Massive grain elevator. It was designed to store 1 million bushels of wheat. It had a foundation that would cover the entire span, so 77 feet wide by 195 feet long, and 2 feet thick. Had footings that went down 12 feet, and then had additional structural walls within the silos. So construction was completed in 1913, as I mentioned, and they started to fill the silos with grain. They filled it up to about 875,000 bushels, so just over 3/4 full. And they started to notice some settling on the bin side. Within one day, 24 hours, it had settled 37 degrees, 27 degrees. If you look on the west side, where it's down in the ground, it was 24 feet down in the ground from the level. Okay. They spent the next year trying to figure out how to fix that. It took a lot of effort to do that. Immediately after the incident here, the engineers looked at it with a more careful look, and they found that the clay soil underneath the elevator, the local farmers referred to that as blue gumbo, was not strong enough. Maybe the name would have given you that. But it was not strong enough to hold the weight of that grain elevator. And as they filled it up, the clay layers underneath shifted and it fell into the ground. I want you to keep that in your mind for a second, and let me talk a little bit about agriculture, and then I'll come back to that. The U.S. is a world leader in agriculture. We know that. The food and fiber supply chain provides food and clothing for more than 330 million residents of the United States, plus many more around the world. The supply chain employs directly 24 million people and produces in excess of $3.8 trillion of food and fiber every year. When you look at indirect, so economists like to look at, well, how does it affect others around it? Those numbers jump up to $10 trillion in output and more than 48 million jobs. So we play a significant role in the U.S. economy. We also play an important role in the New Mexico economy. In 2022, agriculture production.
Not sure what happened, sorry about that.
That was for effect. Production agriculture, $3.7 billion in the state. And employs more than 29,000 people in the state. When you look at those additional effects, what we call indirect effects, it accounts for 59,000 employees, 59,000 jobs, and more than $43 billion in output. So let me go back to my elevator story. Food and fiber production can only occur when we have resources like labor, water, and land. One of the most essential resources that serves as a foundation for our agricultural system is soil. Healthy soil is an essential foundation for continued success in the agricultural production and in turn the entire agricultural supply chain. Without healthy soil, we don't have food. We don't have clothing. Without healthy soils, our agricultural economy would fail, just like the elevator did in Winnipeg. So I think, in my opinion, this conference is extremely important. We need to make sure that we have a strong foundation. This is one of the critical foundations of our system. I'm sure as you participate in the next day, day and a half, you'll get to see research. You'll get to hear about hands-on experiences about how we can increase the health of our soil and ensure that we have a strong agricultural economy going forward. So I thank you very much, and again, welcome, and look forward to visiting with you the rest of the day.